Hi, this is producer Mel's mom, Jan, a Crystal Palace supporter who doesn't quite understand why Mel spends so much time with this show instead of me. And you are listening to the DU Football Show.
Damn right, Mel. You should spend more time with your mother, your sweet, wonderful mother, Crystal Palace supporter Jan Millman.
I did not write that line.
Hey, kids, by the way, not only no Malort, we all won, too. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Ray Day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of Malort. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey!
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me is the clearly excited Samuel Graham, because he's also watching the football team right now. What just happened since you were throwing your arms up in the air, you lunatic?
They subbed Haskins out, and the third-string quarterback aired it out. Guy gets both hands on it, diving catch on the 3-yard line. As he hits the ground, comes out, bobbles up back into his hands, and then he just batted it away. I thought he had it, and I didn't see it slide out originally. I thought he had it. I was too excited. He didn't have it.
All right. Well, how you doing, buddy?
Just falling short all over the field. Great.
Excellent. We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. And should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sam, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Well, apparently, as long as you don't type cunt in, you can get in touch at DUfootballshow on Gmail, on all the social medias, or DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And make sure you search for the Drunken United FC closed group, which is where all of us are allowed to talk shit except for Houston.
Yeah, apparently not allowed to explain the definition of DBAC. That's just not allowed.
He almost found himself in Facebook jail.
Yeah, well, and apparently my wife has all the power to delete me if she wants to from the group. The group.
Be quite careful about your use of telling her to hit the mute button.
Might have to step it back a little bit, or maybe I just don't give a shit. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry, and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sam, we are starting with a whiskey from the new 2020 list of Whiskey Advocates Top 20. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about it?
All right. So this is Jeppson's Malort. I'm just kidding. 2020, get it? That year, shitty. That should be the top rank.
That would be number one.
It was not, obviously. So just a little heads up. We finished out all the whiskeys we have from the 2019 list. There's still 2 or 3 that we're searching for. At this point, probably very difficult to find. So we're starting on 2020's list.
I might have an inside track on number 4, but that would be, I have an inside track on that. So I might be able to get us that. And if I do, we'll drink it. Fine. But yes, sorry for stumbling all over you there, Mr. Graham.
No problem. So in sentimental fashion, we're starting with number 13, which is our boy Rob's favorite number. And in honor of Arsenal's win this weekend, we started with number 13. This is Glenn Morangi, 15-year-old from the Cad Bowl estate. This is exclusively aged in American bourbon oak, which is American oak, American white oak. 43% by volume, which would make it 86 proof. Run you between $87.99 and $94.99, and this is a lovely, lovely little whiskey.
It's fucking exceptional. It really
is a single estate whiskey, which is not something you always see. You sometimes see single estate tequilas. And just like a vineyard, just like a wine, all of the barley that goes into this bottle is grown on a single farm. So these are going to be different year to year if they ever release this again.
Yep.
Then you would find the standard Glenmorangie line. This one exclusively aged, as I said, in American White Oak. It's got a big vanilla and caramel up front, very light. Still has a bit of smoke to it, but not peatiness. And that's there's a difference. It's not campfire, but you can tell that it was smoked a bit.
I got to tell you, Sam. Now this is not an easy find. It's funny because we're doing this glass over the internet. We're doing the Zoom tonight, and you happen to procure a bottle of it, and I procured a bottle of it. This is
We actually found it the same damn day.
Yeah, exactly. So this is one that might I recommend to anybody. If you see it on the shelf, buy it, because I don't know how long it's going to be around for. But if you are someone who does not particularly care for single malts or Scottish whiskey as a whole, this is a fantastic example of how to get into a good single malt whiskey that's not going to have that peat that's going to bang you over the head. It's nice and soft. It's got all the vanilla and caramel from that American White Oak. Like you said, Sam, subtle smoke, but it's not, not
peaty.
Yeah.
Not iodine-y, campfire, not that kind of.
But even the smoke.
Like you'd find from Isla.
Even the smoke itself, the difference between smoke and peat, which we've discussed before, but even the smoke is not overpowering. This
Correct.
is, you get that really big cereal crunch that you tend to get from barley, but it's a lovely fucking whiskey. This is, God, I look forward to the rest of our top 20. If they're going to be this good, we're in for a fucking fun ride, Sammy.
Yeah, and just a quick thing. If you're trying to get into Scotch whiskey and you're a bourbon drinker, and you cannot find this bottle, also, parting with $90 on a whim is sometimes a little scary.
Of course.
Glenfiddich 14-year-old is a great way to get in.
Yeah.
That's also exclusively aged in American White Oak as well. And only a year less on the age statement. You'll find that one usually around $60 on the shelf, but that one's readily available and actually a U.S. exclusive. So they don't have that in Scotland, for instance, or anywhere in the UK for that matter, on the general market.
Yeah, exactly. American White Oak is typically a good way to go. Sticking with the space side / this is a Highland single malt, but Highland / space side wood influence is generally, if you're going to make the step from bourbon, ryes, and Irishes into Scottish whiskeys, I always direct people towards Spey first, because at least that wood finish gives a familiarity that you're used to with the whiskeys that you've been consuming already. Too many times I hear people be like, yeah, what's the first Scotch you had? Lafroig. I'll be like, who fucking hates you, man?
Yeah.
Who fucking hates you? Like, that's not
exactly
the
right.
first Scottish whiskey you should be putting in your mouth. I would like you to eventually try it, and it's very good, but it has its time and its place. And the first Scottish whiskey you drink is not that place. So anything else?
No, you need to build up to that. Absolutely.
So anything else you'd like to mention there, Sammy?
Make sure you drink responsibly. And because we're doing this over Zoom, I will not be.
Oh, very good. Probably nor will I. So that'll allow us to cheers. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. How about that?
You're cheersing yourself while I'm over here with my beer extended going, toast me.
Cheers me.
Toast
Cheers me.
Please, Tyrant Sam.
Yeah.
You know what? And fitting I'm watching football team. Also not a touchdown, by the way. There was a hold. So
damn
it turned out there was a
Fuck
penalty on
VAR.
top of it. Funny you should say, you remember in not Happy Gilmore, in what was Adam Sandler's football movie? My God,
the
Waterboy.
Longest Yard. Or Waterboy.
Waterboy.
Yeah.
Do you remember in Waterboy when he did something good and was in the end zone for whatever reason, and he was like, slap hands, and then everybody ran away from him?
Yes.
That was Mel sitting there with her beer,
Slap hands,
waiting
slap
for
hands.
Houston. Cheers me. Yeah.
I just remember, Mama, Vicky Vandercourt showed me my boobies, and I liked them. Yes, that's what I remember. Anywho, let's get into the actual action. We did have Boxing Day weekend, which gave us 2 days of nonstop football, which was fabulous. And why we're doing a show on Sunday night to be released on Monday, because Monday there's more fucking games.
That's right.
When we give you shit when you lose, Sam, we got to go ahead and let you revel in a huge victory too. To open up the show, Arsenal 3, Chelsea 0. Arteta makes big changes to the lineup, and the kids fucking responded.
They did. It's really hard. I don't even know what to say, to be honest. It's been so long since we've tasted victory in the country. And domestic play is what I mean. They were awesome. They played with a freedom that we haven't seen them play for a number of weeks. They gave up chances. That's to be expected. They had a young squad, no Gabriel as well. But Chelsea also took no initiative whatsoever. They managed just 3 shots on target, but they had the ball over 60% of the time. Arsenal actually more than doubled them in the shots category, and they were surprisingly clinical. And, you know, when things are going well, they go well. Bukayo Saka had a cross, found the back of the net.
Yeah.
Completely didn't mean that.
I was going to say, I felt like the goals you scored were if you're going to use one word to describe what you guys did best in this match, opportunistic.
Yeah. Lacazette obviously got the penalty first to open up the scoring, and Granit Xhaka with a tremendous free kick. James Ward-Prowse-esque, who I'm sure we'll talk about later.
Absolutely.
Just a fantastic free kick with his left foot into that near post, upper 90.
And sure, the penalty, Tierney, a touch soft, but you call those get called. So you're not going to blame them for going down. Like, you feel the contact, you go. It
was nailed
down.
on. Defender should have been sent off.
Okay, very good. I hear you. Well said, Wenger. Well said, Wenger. Yeah, we were definitely on the spot with that.
Can you help me with this zipper, by the way?
For the rager that's coming out. Now, it's you have to feel really positive. Just seeing the team show up. I would say seeing Mari back in the lineup is huge.
Big time.
Potentially now you can go holding Gabriel and Mari in the back, and you can let Tierney and Bellerin, like Tierney could finally play the wing back, which is what he's meant to do. That could really open up your team a lot. Martinelli coming back has been huge. Laca obviously was opportunistic. Aubameyang on the bench. I just think it's probably Arteta saying, hey, just clear your fucking mind. Abba, just clear your fucking mind.
He apparently had that calf strain, right? I'm not sure if that's continued, but the team seems to have been playing a little bit better without him in the side. And I said it with Pepe early on, especially the English press, but when the press starts to get on your back, it's really hard to perform.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And, Pepe, before they finally allowed it to happen, Pepe could have done with 2-3 weeks out the side. I mean, this was back under, Unai Emery before he was fired. He could have done with 2-3 weeks out the side to just gather himself and kind of just allow people to stop talking shit about him,
Right. And no offense to Abba as well, but when he's on the pitch, you have to feel that the rest of the team feels obliged to get the ball to their talismanic scorer, especially if he's not scoring. It's like, we got to give him opportunities. We got to push the issue. By having him off the pitch, it let him relax. It let him play. And was it the prettiest, most convincing kind of style of play? No, but like I said, opportunistic. They took advantage of exactly what they needed to. Now, what we really need to focus on is Frank in his post-game presser, because he
I had one quick thing.
Yeah, please.
I had one quick thing, because I said it last week, and it's exactly what happened, is we have always been able to score goals until these last 7 games, or 8 games, whatever it is. We've always been able to score goals. We have not always been able to defend. You're not going to come in, Mikel Arteta, and in 6 months completely change the identity of the club, right, that we've had for the last 25 years. So why not do what you do well? Why not counterattack, play?
Right.
But go fucking score goals, because that's what we're good at. That's what we do. That's what we've always done.
Yep.
Less 7 games. for the last 20 odd years.
Building a great defensive mentality is awesome, but if you're losing every game 1-0, who fucking cares about a defensive mentality?
Well, exactly. And the game was a lot more open than the possession stats would show. Chelsea had a lot of the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it.
No, they weren't.
We moved down the field quickly, and we had a ton of opportunities. Like I said, we more than doubled them on shots. Now, all of that being said, that's why Frank was so pissed.
Yes. Frank was just, I mean, honestly, what he should have said, fuck all my players, fuck them right off. I don't fucking care. I'm going to find 11 fucking new ones because you all fucking suck. It was brilliant.
100%.
Okay.
They essentially, Frank came out and said, he was posed the question, what happened? And he said, well, you have to ask the players that.
Yeah.
He said, I told them what they were going to do. I told them how they were going to set up. I told them the game plan, and they just didn't do it.
Yeah.
They didn't they didn't take the initiative. They didn't push the envelope. They didn't do any of that.
We knew exactly what they were going to do, and we let them do it. Or not we let them do it. The players
they let them do it.
That looks like a man that is going to change his entire fucking lineup for the next match against Villa. Mel, I am intrigued to see what it's going to be like when Chelsea plays Villa on Monday. You guys are playing good ball, and it should be a fun watch, but wow.
We also won't have Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, that's right. Yep,
we'll
get to that as well.
Not that matters, because apparently y'all do better with him out.
Yeah, no shit. Score 2 goals without him. Now
tripled your tally. Overall, it was a comfortable win and a welcome treat for the Arsenal, in my opinion. Now, Tammy Abraham did score a consolation goal, definite offside, in my opinion, but I'll take the fantasy points.
It was 3. I said 3-0. And it was 3-1. I completely forgot about his goal. I'm sorry.
Well, because you're right. You were probably remembering that it was definitely offsides, and but for some reason VAR gave it anyway. Apparently, the Liverpool VAR was there that day.
Well, and then, right there at the end, almost fucked it away. Mari gives up the penalty, but Jorginho decides to take the softest penalty ever, and Leno saves it easily.
This was what I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Leeds player, maybe a couple of weeks ago, that had the penalty that Fabianski came off the line. Yeah. Was that right?
No.
And then he got to retake it.
Yeah, that was Leeds.
And Fabianski was barely off the line.
Yeah, that was Leeds.
That Jorginho's penalty definitely rivaled that penalty for the softest penalty ever. The first one from that player. I can't remember who it was now.
It was either Leeds. It was either Leeds or it was Manchester United. But it was one or the other.
No, I think it was Leeds because it was retaken and they ended up scoring.
Yeah. It was Leeds. It was Click.
It was the first penalty in that one.
I think it was Click who took that one.
Yeah, it was Mateus Click. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So Mateus Click's first attempt was just as bad as Jorginho's.
Well, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Jorginho, as he was running and pausing and hopping, he actually pointed and went, there, right there. That's where I'm going to kick it. That's where I'm going to kick it. You should go there.
Yes, pretty much.
I did love that the first person to put his arms around Leno right after he made the save was Mari. Just you could tell he was like, "Thanks, mate. Thanks for taking care of covering my ass. Appreciate it. Love you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, buddy.
Thank I owe you a Sunday roast. That's on me, brother.
Exactly.
Got you fucking
I'll
covered.
get you to go. You can pick up on the way home.
All right. So one final question. We'll move on to the next segment. Gunner's obviously not out of the woods, but is this a step in the right direction?
It absolutely is a step in the right direction. I'm pulling it up right now. We've got Brighton, West Brom, Palace, and Newcastle in our next 4.
Only problem there is you're at Brighton, and that's a bogey spot for you.
Well, we're at Brighton. We're also at West Brom, who we're going to talk about later. Apparently, it takes 7 days to instill Big Sam's ideas.
Yes, obviously.
And that's it. So we do have winnable games in our future. If we can take this, which was an unexpected result, in my opinion, we talked about it on the Patreon show. If we can build on this momentum, we have a chance of shooting up the table a little bit. And then who knows what happens from there.
Yeah, very true. And you are currently still sitting, if I recall, that's right, in...
I think we're still in 15th.
15th place. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job. Oddly, Sam, we are going to discuss 4 draws in this next segment. 3 of them were quite entertaining. Well, we'll say 2.5 of them were quite entertaining. And the other one was about as enjoyable as a pint of red wine. Manchester United 2, Leicester 2, West Ham 2, Brighton 2, Wolves 1, Spurs 1, West Brom 1, Liverpool 1.
That's just funny.
It is funny. Quite funny.
Thank you. So, Manchester United, Leicester. What a way to fucking open up the Boxing Day weekend, huh?
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you got up early to watch this one, you were in for a fucking treat. This was 2 brawlers throwing fucking haymakers for 90 fucking minutes, man. It was a fabulous watch.
It was very back and forth, this game. Possession stats are 54% for Leicester, 45% for United. So pretty much dead even. My problem is they were both very wasteful in this game.
Okay.
You had a total of 19 shots between both teams, 10 for Leicester, 9 for United, but just 6 on target. Only 2 for Leicester, 100% record that is, and 4 for Manchester United. So I like Marcus Rashford, in my opinion. What was it, 18 minutes in or something?
Oh, right off the bat, the header that he should have fucking put away.
One of the easiest headers he'll ever have in his career.
Yeah.
And he completely fucked it and put it over the top.
Yeah, header, and he had Schmeichel tree trunked. Schmeichel was
100%,
locked in. You could have put
because there's no reason he should have been in that space. If I was Schmeichel, I'd have been scared too.
Yeah, I mean, he was completely locked in. But that also being said, physical as fuck game. So like, when you're getting shots, you're not going to necessarily put them on target when all you've been doing is just getting beat like a dog the entire game. Because like I said, it was haymaker after haymaker after haymaker. Those 2 teams came to fucking play, and it just, again, for the neutral, that was a fabulous fucking game to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed getting up and watching it.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. Marcus Rashford did make amends for that miss, though, and scored with a rather fortunate touch, I think, from Bruno Fernandes. But because it's Bruno Fernandes and the way he's been playing, you have to say that he probably meant to do it. Yeah,
all the commentators were like, yes, look at that perfect opportunity where he slid into it knowing that he was flicking it. No, he tried to wildly kick at the ball and it just happened to fall off his foot right to fucking Rashford who put it in the back of the net. There was no intention in that bullshit. Stop playing.
I don't think
like
so either.
Yes.
I mean, that would be like Bukayo Saka walking out post-match and being like, totally meant it.
Oh, yeah. I meant to throw that one up in the top corner. Yeah.
That cross shot was totally supposed to hit the inside of the post. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I agree with you. I think it was fortunate. But in the cosmic leveling out of life, Bruno Fernandes was quite casual on the ball, trying to nutmeg a player in his own third, and ended up giving the ball away to Harvey Barnes, who decided to go through puberty right at that moment and almost ripped the net off the back of the post.
I know. Jesus Christ.
What a strike.
Somebody's balls dropped when he ripped that one.
He was like, hey, pass it to me. I'm going to shoot.
So we've talked about this before. Whenever Manchester United sees Bruno Fernandes inside the box, one of the defenders should stop marking their man, grab Bruno, and move him outside of the 18. This now applies for 25 yards and back. If Bruno is anywhere near the goal, someone needs to grab him and just go, no, 50, midfield. That's where you're allowed to be, and forward. Yeah. We'll get you the fucking ball.
Come back here.
We would rather Rashford and Martial track back, not you. You stay up here, because when you're back here, nothing goes well. It just does not go well.
That's exactly right. Cavani came on to change the game again. It was his movement that opened up the play for Bruno Fernandes to exploit the space that he found, and Cavani's reverse ball that found Bruno perfectly weighted.
Absolutely.
And he scored well. He finished very well. That was, talent, I guess you could say, especially after that original pass for the first goal. He just really showing it up again.
You know what? Let's stop skirting around it. Bruno. He's
a shit.
Is he the new Luis Suarez? Because
he's a little shit.
All match he was fucking grabbing and fouling hard. Finally, after about 4 or 5 fouls, finally gets a yellow card. Then gets warned probably another 2 or 3 times after fouling hard again that no, Bruno, this is your last warning. No. I know I told you the last one, but this is your last warning. And then he acts so embarrassed. And what do you mean I kicked that guy in the back of the leg when I stood on top of him? Like he's clearly the new villain, right? Of the Premier League.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a bit to him that used to be given to Paul Scholes. Fantastic on the ball. One of the best midfielders that's ever played the game, Paul Scholes. Couldn't tackle to save his fucking life.
Right.
Got more, I think, carded over 90 times in his career or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
no Gareth Barry, but he got carded a lot.
Yeah, fair enough. But they're known for having quite creative, quite talismanic midfielders that defensively are worth fuck all.
Right.
And I think Bruno just kind of fits that mold a bit. And no big surprise that when he comes in and United kind of find their identity again, he's at the center of a lot of that shit. So he's a bit of a shit. He gets into it. He does, some of the little, kind of niggly fouls that just are what they are. It's just part of the game and part of the Iberian Peninsula as well. We've talked about a lot. A lot of the Spanish players do that kind of stuff. A lot of the Portuguese players do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Ronaldo's no saint. Right. He gets breathed on, he goes down, but he's the first one to step on your ankle in a challenge.
Right. Of course.
That's just gamesmanship, if you will, from people from the continent in a lot of cases.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Jamie Vardy scores a goal. No, I'm sorry. It later gets changed to an own goal. Fucking over my bet for the equalizer.
Absolutely. That happened. Thank goodness, because my bet got fucked as well.
Yeah, because that would have been plus 480 to me. That would have been really nice.
Oh, I got something special for you later, my friend.
Oh, you'll like my something special for you later, my friend. So going on to the next game, what we should
I forgot to tell you it's our anniversary.
I figured as much. I'm just going to let you guys have the room later.
So what we should be saying is Brighton finally gets a win. And yet we're saying yet again, Brighton gets another fucking draw that they give away.
So this kept me alive in fantasy.
Oh, yeah. No shit.
I was playing Ray this week, and he was texting me all day about what was going on. And he was up by 10 points come like the 65th minute in this game.
Hold on 1 second. Ray's a Man U supporter, right?
Yes.
His team's doing well, right?
Yeah.
His fantasy team.
All of a sudden, he came out of the fucking woodwork.
Exactly what I was about to say. Is suddenly now Ray's really chesty.
So he texted me today talking about how close the game was coming into the day, and he pulled clear with a couple of goals in the early matches. And I said, "Well, you're 10 points clear. I only have Allison left, unless Thomas Suchek can do something for me here." And the Czech midfielder, goddammit, came through again, 82nd minute equalizer. That's what I'm talking about.
Thomas Suchek.
Yeah, my man. It was a pretty decent game, to be honest. I had to listen to it on Talk Sport, but it on Sirius XM. But it was a pretty back and forth game. I mean, both teams had chances, it seemed, and both teams were going for it. To be honest with you. So I think it's a fair result. No cards in this game whatsoever, which is a strange one. Possession almost even. Shots on target were level at 4 apiece, and 11 shots for West Ham to 13 for Brighton. So it was, a fairly even back and forth game.
For me, just kind of watching the match, Brighton seemed to have a little bit more of the force behind it. You would have West Ham would start to take control when they needed to get a goal, when they were down, and they went down twice. I think what is positive here for West Ham to take away is that you didn't play your best match and you still got a point, right? Like this is exactly what a David Moyes side does.
I was just about to say that to you. This is David Moyes.
Yeah.
And I think
but you stay alive.
He didn't. I'm sorry?
Not your best day, but you stay alive. That is David Moyes coaching to a T.
I think Manchester United for him was too big and too flashy. I think Sunderland for him was too small. I know they're a big club in general, but Sunderland for him was too small of a club. But you look at where he's gotten his success, and it's at Everton and West Ham in recent history. I'd say the last 40 years.
Yeah.
West Ham are a similar sized club to Everton.
Yeah, that's very
They
fair.
are working man's clubs. Most of the supporters of dock workers on the Thames. You have Everton supporters or dock workers on the Mersey, as well as the Irish Sea. You have they're working man clubs with working mindsets and blue collar ideals. And David Moyes embodies that perfectly. And I think he's found that balance, and he has a togetherness in this West Ham team that I now think they're going to be absolutely safe, and he will not ferry them down to oblivion.
Absolutely not. I think this team is probably a between 11th and 8th. Like I think honestly they're a top half side. I think that's where they're going to finish.
Absolutely could be the case for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing that I definitely want to mention was the first goal that was scored for West Ham. Young gentleman by the name of Johnson. It was his first goal for his club. He has been an academy player since age 7. I believe he is 19.
There you go. That was like that goalkeeper last season.
Martin, who loved him who loved him forever and ever, and finally got the opportunity to play for him. He's an ex-Millwall keeper, and then because he had to play for Millwall, even though he was a hammer. And
I'd play for sign for Tottenham tomorrow if they offer me a contract.
If you got to play, you'll fucking play, right? But
but remember, I just that moment last season when he kept that clean sheet and had 4 or 5 saves, and he ran up into the stands and hugged his dad.
Yeah,
and that kind of stuff. That's awesome. You can't beat that.
They started blowing the bubbles, and every guy on the sideline hugged him, and Moyes hugged him, and every player on the pitch hugged him. I mean, I'm surprised Brighton players didn't come over and start hugging him. It was very good, and it was a great shot too. It was a ball that got bounced around, poked back out to him, and he just curled it right up into the upper 90 on the far side. Gorgeous.
Excellent pedigree in his family as well.
Yes.
His uncle, former Manchester United player, defender, center back, older guy. I honestly don't remember his name, but I heard the announcers talking about it. His cousin, Ledley King, the former Tottenham center back and England center back.
Very good.
So his uncle and his cousin were both England internationals and played for 2 quite big clubs.
Excellent. So going into the next match with Tottenham and Wolves. Tottenham and Wolves. Spurs capitulate again right at the finish. They give up points at the end.
I don't even know that it's a capitulation. There's not here. I'll sum up the game for you in 2 sentences. Tottenham score early, then play Jose ball.
Yeah, but Jose ball wins 1-0. Spurs tie 1-1.
But they're Spurs, and they still can't get that out of their DNA, just absolutely bottling it. But they didn't capitulate. It's just my point is the damn. I've said this stupid cliche how many times? If you allow that many chances, eventually something's going to go in. Just by the law of averages, eventually something's going to go in, and it's really no fault of your own that it happens, but it does. Now, Wolves were allowed 11 shots, 6 on target, to Tottenham only having 6 and 3. And Wolves only outpossessed them by 9%.
Yeah. Great.
It's like, they just have no interest in going forward after they take a lead.
Yeah.
And until Wolves equalized, and then they took the initiative for about 8 minutes, but it was garbage because they've been sitting back the whole game. From the 57th second, they sat back.
Yeah. And Ndombele was a great goal.
It was a fantastic strike.
I also think, though, too, people are starting to realize, oh, wait, this entire machine offensively runs on Son and Kane. Mm-hmm. So Now it's time to just eliminate them from the game, which I would credit to Wolves' defense and also Wolves' midfield. They were just like, we're just not going to give you fucking chances. We're not going to let it happen. We're going to hone in on the two of you. If when you sub in Bergwijn, if he wants to run all the way down the field and try to score, cool, we dare you. You know, like
they had less than 500 passes.
Yeah, I just.
I don't understand it from Mourinho. He's got such a and it pains me to say it. I'm trying to be objective in this, right? I mean, I love saying it.
Right.
What I'm about to say pains me.
Right.
He's got a very talented team, and it's failing to realize its potential because of him limiting it.
Yeah.
So it's lovely.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because it worked earlier. It worked against Chelsea. It worked against Man City. And now it didn't work against Liverpool. It didn't work against Palace. And it didn't work here. But
here's the thing. Like you say, it doesn't work against Palace.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't work against Wolves. Now, I know Wolves are a little bit better of a proposition, but you're talking about teams that you should be 2-3-0 up easy.
Precisely. Those are the teams that you then need to go get. Oh, is your delivery here, Sam? Because I heard the doorbell
ring. I believe it
ring.
is. I think that's dinner just showing up there. No, it's an Amazon package.
Oh, that's lovely.
But let's take a look on the old Vivint.
All right, let's go ahead and chat about the last match. I apologize. Apparently, Big Sam knows exactly what the fuck he's doing as they put more shots on target than Liverpool. How the fuck was this 1-1?
I don't know. Well, I do know. It's because West Brom aren't very good, but now they're fucking organized.
Yeah.
And apparently, as I led on to at the beginning of the show, it only takes approximately 8 days, 7 to 8 days to completely instill Big Sam's identity onto the club, much like meeting you. It takes about 15 minutes and then you're everyone's best friend.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Well, but
That's
then you
very
fuck it up
kind.
normally after I get to know you for a bit. You normally screw it up.
Well, then you get drunk with me and then you see behind the curtain. You're like, oh, this
guy's an asshole.
There's so much wrong with him. Much wrong.
100%. But basically, that's what it is. Liverpool had damn near 80% of the ball, 78.1. The Premier League app gives them just 2 shots on target. Now, West Brom were very efficient. They only had 5 shots on target. 5 shots in general. 3 of them on target, though, with just 21% possession. And the same number of goals, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's Big Sam to a T. This is what they hired him for, and it's his first point, and here we go. That first game only had 2 days with the team. He had just gotten off the plane from Dubai. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
Big Sam, what's the old thing? You don't see him Monday to Thursday because he's in Dubai, but he takes the Friday training session, then he coaches on Saturday.
So the thing that seemed interesting was that entire first half was legitimately a practice session for Liverpool. The problem is they only put 1 in the net. And what we talked about on Injury Time when we previewed the game was here comes the opportunity for Liverpool's going to score 1 quickly, which they did, and then the floodgates are going to open because this team, West Brom, will give it up because they put their heads down. They didn't put their heads down. That's clearly the stamp of Big Sam Allardyce. That is clearly that's fine. We expected them to score. They're not going to score again, is exactly what it felt like.
Well, they're buying into the idea. They're now extremely organized, and you can't not buy into the idea of Big Sam. It just is what it is. The guy's so candid. He's so honest. He's a big brutish person who you're just terribly intimidated by.
He eats
his
pies
voice
and
is
drinks
deep as
wine.
can be.
You're like,
You're
like, yes, sir. That's your answer normally to Big Sam.
Right. Because when he's done with his pint of wine, he's going to smash the glass on the back of your head if you fuck up. You know what I mean? And it'll put a cigar out on your neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the vibe you get from Big Sam. And I think they might be safe. They had chances to win the damn game.
It's
And this shows this. I mean, this is the same thing. And we spoke earlier about this in our pre-show meeting.
Mm-hmm.
This was the same thing Brendan Rodgers did to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Sit back for 80 minutes, make it difficult, be in with a shout for the final 10. Well, they were only down 1. Leicester had us 0-0, right? They bring on Jamie Vardy coming back from injury. They get a goal, win the game. Here, they find the goal. Those last 10 minutes, West Brom were very open and took it to Liverpool, and they didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
They had been going forward, piling forward all game, not doing anything with it. They were quite wasteful, but they were piling forward all game and did not know how to deal with West Brom when they decided to come out of their shell. And when they did, you saw the goal that happened.
Now,
and unlike Tammy Abraham's definite offsides, this was nowhere near offsides, in my opinion.
So you did have Matip go down with an injury, which is concerning because they think that it may be a long-term injury. It means you very likely are going to have to go to the kids to play in the back, or you're going to need to go shop and find a center back in the winter because Joe Gomez isn't coming back anytime soon, and we know Van Dijk's not coming back for the entire season.
If only they had the prize money from winning the league last season and the Champions League money from winning that 2 years ago.
No, Sam, you don't understand. These trials and tribulations is what we all need to understand as just participants in this league, and we all need to bow down to the mighty Jurgen Klopp and give him whatever he wants, for he shall now complain. Note, right before the goal, he did get a yellow card for bitching and moaning to the ref because the ref decided, Mane and Salah, you like to fall a lot. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to call fouls today.
Neither did the VAR.
Yeah. And Klopp did not like that one bit. Lost his cool. You don't see a coach get a yellow on the bench very much anymore. Typically, it's post-match and they get fined and they get brought up by the FA. But you rarely see a ref come out of their way, come across the field and just go, fuck off, asshole. Here's a card. Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Sam, you got to understand that having 6 full days off is very trying on the mind.
Yeah, definitely.
For those Liverpool players and for Jurgen Klopp, not being in the League Cup anymore and having 6 full days of rest, then a further 3 days of rest after this game is just not enough, Sam.
I mean,
during this festive period, 9 days of rest during the busiest part of it, you need to calm your fucking ass down and have some respect. I
mean, especially because he was very concerned about what Tottenham was doing and what Manchester United was doing and their games being played. And Everton's about to play literally in 48 hours. They get 1 day today off. And they played in the midday the day before. They play in the midday tomorrow. They get exactly 48 hours. Why didn't I hear Jurgen bitching and moaning about that? I mean, that's really not fair, is it there, Sam?
Well, and your 4 best players are out.
5 even. We're missing.
You've got fucking Gylfi running rings around people, which we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah.
But you've got your 4 best players out, and according to Mourinho, Liverpool doesn't have that many injuries, so it has to be true.
Well, the key thing we need to understand is that Klopp just did not appreciate today's formation. That apparently a 6-4 formation is frowned upon by Klopp and the Premier League.
I don't know how to say ugly in Portuguese, but it's the anti-Jogo Bonito commercials from years ago.
Heard. It is not 118. It is 1-10-0-0. All right, rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Villa 3, Palace 0, Fulham 0, Southampton 0, Man City 2, Newcastle 0, Leeds 1, Burnley 0, Everton 1, Sheffield 0. Villa rolled despite the Mings sending off. Dumb by him, by the way. He's on a yellow. You don't it's the middle of the fucking pitch. Let Wilf go by you. Don't fucking knock him down. That was just dumb.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Zaha. You know what you're going to get. It was definitely soft.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but I'm going to let Mel do it. My hard-hitting analysis for this game, I'm going to let Mel talk about the rest of it. It's her team, obviously, but I didn't see any other result here because of one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jan.
Yeah, and Jen did talk through the whole match, so I missed a lot and I drank a lot.
They went through 2 bottles of Prosecco because they drank all the mimosas. There are no mimosas left. They drank them all.
One for each half.
Jan was doing her coloring book game on her phone and then would look up and go, "We suck. Do better. Why are you letting them score?" And then head back in the phone. So,
oh no, and you forgot. Oh, great. Kick it right to the goalie.
Yeah, we have already ingrained into the Jan philosophy is fully ingrained into the Crystal Palace attack.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match thoroughly. Even with one man down, we still held our own very well.
Yeah, Traore with a goal, which was great to see.
Agazi got a good one.
A good one. That was a fucking peach.
That whole setup, you could see the whole play as it traveled down.
It was gorgeous.
And I believe Jack hit it back to Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Gazi moved into the center, and then just right in the right spot, and then boop in the right hole, and it just was beautiful. And by the way,
always nice when that happens. Always nice when you find the right hole.
I didn't write any of this down. That was commentary right from the top of my slightly drunk, addled brain. So fuck you guys for getting me into this shit.
Very good. One of the things that's very positive in that match for Villa, and we'll keep it rolling because we're just going to go another fucking hour 40 again, is Ollie Watkins doesn't get any goals, but he is involved in all 3 of the goals that were scored. If your point man isn't necessarily putting it in the back of the net, if he's involved in the goals, you like seeing that, right? Because that means the goal is going to come for him.
It was what's funny is with what you said earlier, just piggybacking on what you said with the talismanic forward in Aubameyang and them trying to just get him a goal to get him confidence. Arsenal were doing that at 0-0. Villa took care of business first. Yeah. And then tried to get Ollie Watkins a goal.
Right. And then Ollie.
Jack Grealish, twice I can think of off the top of my head, should have shot and passed. Right. And Watkins ended up hitting the post. And I think one time went straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah. And Konza rebounded his header.
Yeah. But they tried to do the same thing, but it was after they were already in front. It was after they had taken care of the business end. All right, let's get him his goal now.
Right.
Where what you were saying earlier, we were hamstrung trying to get Aubameyang his goal first.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's that level of team, right? It's that spirit in the team that is proving Villa world beaters at the moment. I mean, they're fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would think we're about to say the following statement? Tomorrow's game, Chelsea versus Villa. You gotta favor Villa.
It's like definitely has the potential for that, especially. I hope so I can hear that Frank Lampard post match.
Villa's playing good fucking ball. They really are. This is exactly what you want from this kind of team if you're a supporter of this club. You got up, you stayed up. The next year, big improvement. Boom. You can't ask for more. That's exactly what you want to see your fucking team do when they get promotion.
Agreed.
So you can't be happier. And they're getting goals, which is good. It's not, a bit of a smash and grab against Wolves when they got that victory. But the last couple have been really convincing. They're getting goals, and you really can't complain. I mean, they're on cruise control. Palace, a couple of bad losses in a row, and that's to follow up a couple of draws. And their last win was that big win against West Brom. I feel like this team is safe. I feel like there's the right pieces, but it still feels like this team in transition that is very handcuffed by overall, what are we going to do with Wilf, or what piece are we going to bring in to kind of keep the ship afloat? So I always kind of wonder with them, does Roy just get bored and just decide?
Well, here's the thing. Look. In terms of that, he's 72 years old.
Yes.
This is the perfect job for him. He can't get bored. What else is he going to do? Sit at home and do Sudoku?
That's true. Very good. You know what?
Crossword puzzle?
Jan's got a coloring book for him.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
I don't know if he knows how to work the iPhone.
Yep.
Here's the thing with Here's the thing with Palace. One of the commentators said, and I completely took this to heart and took notice of it, and it's absolutely true. If you look at Wilfred Zaha, got fouled maybe midway through the first half, right? For 10 minutes, he was talking to the referees. He ran up and down the field, not focusing on the game. A foul he thought should have been called, and it wasn't.
Right.
Talking to the referee for 10 minutes. There's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Fulham get another point, which is good. That's what they're supposed to be doing, but they still find themselves in the relegation fight. And then Southampton, they seem to be slipping.
Am I supposed to go now?
Yeah, this is when you should take
you
your
normally
face out of your
lead into
phone.
the game.
No, I did. I led into the game with the sentences, if you read my notes, that say exactly what I just fucking said.
Fulham created a lot in this game. They just weren't very clinical.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen with them this season. They don't really have a point man. For whatever reason, Arnautovic is not starting and is not playing
You mean
well.
Mitrovic.
When he does play.
You said Arnautovic. You mean Mitrovic.
I meant Mitrovic. I said Arnautovic.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
That's a way back.
Man, those Eastern Europeans that made the transfer special such a joy.
I was going to say anything with an ICHV in there, like normally fucks with you.
Yeah, I don't do the Eastern stuff well. But they put up 10 shots on target, 10 shots, but only one on target.
Yeah.
It's like, it just wasn't clinical by any means whatsoever. So this is going to happen from time to time. They are more solid at the back, which is nice. Southampton has kind of been running rampant for the last few months.
Yeah.
And for them to keep a clean sheet against them is good for them. So they keep picking up points. I think they might actually be okay, to be honest with you, depending on what Brighton end up doing.
Yeah, agreed. For Southampton, I just feel like Southampton is the victim of December, right? Some clubs thrive in December. Some clubs just kind of start to zigzag a little. And this is exactly kind of, Southampton just being a victim of December is what it ultimately comes down to. Because then there's some games you look
Danny
at where,
Ings been in and out.
right.
He's been their best player, all that kind of stuff. So, it's kind of difficult.
So Man City win ugly. And Newcastle are just
real ugly.
Like that pretty much sums it up, right? There has to be some level of credit to City for the fact that they're finding results and they're getting shutouts, right?
Absolutely. Winning ugly is a mark of champions.
This is exactly what we critiqued about Liverpool, from the season that they didn't win the title and the season that they did win the title. We said they learned how to win ugly. And what we're all forgetting, City still got a game in hand. They're now in 5th place. They're 6 points out. They got a game in hand against Villa. Not an easy game, but if they win that, suddenly they're even 2nd place with Everton, 3 points behind Liverpool. Mm-hmm. Anything can fucking happen. This was a team who was in 14th fucking place at one point.
Yep.
So we're just so used to Pep ball being so gorgeous. And we need to understand maybe the manager has grown. Maybe he's learned that I can't always do what I do. Maybe I need to adjust the game. Maybe I need to change my plan.
I think part of it also has to boil down to the injuries to Sergio Aguero. Gabriel Jesus is obviously not Sergio Aguero. Very obviously not Sergio Aguero.
And now, just because he's on my fantasy team, out indefinitely. Illness is all it said. But he's already been tagged for the COVID. He got COVID already earlier in the season. So it just now says out indefinitely, illness.
I wonder if he just hasn't been able to get fit since he got COVID or what?
I don't know.
Or he just doesn't want to fucking play for them anymore.
My second round pick was almost as good as your second round pick there, Sammy, in the
my
draft.
second round pick fucking screwed me today.
Newcastle will get into another time, but it's Brucey ball, I think, is ultimately going to be the detriment of this club. and they need to figure out a new path. That's
Well,
really
they're
what it comes
just,
down to.
I mean, at the end of the day, man for man, they're not as good as Manchester City.
No, of course
Something
not.
was going to happen eventually.
Right.
It
Right.
just 2 goals and done and dusted. I mean, City didn't need to turn screws or push the issue.
Well, this also could
My
have been,
problem with
this-
City is Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez, Gabriel Jesus are not Sergio Aguero.
Right.
You're not going to get 25 plus out of them
Right.
a year.
Right.
It's not going to happen. And for somebody that's been so fit for his entire career, really,
Right.
in Sergio Aguero, is now they've never needed a replacement for him.
Do we see
Well, now
this-
he's getting
Do
up
we
there
s-
in years. He's 2 now, something like that, 31,
Mhm.
32. And then also these recent injuries and apparently COVID, like you said, he's irreplaceable. I mean, you have to go find somebody on the level of Thierry Henry, on the level of Alan Shearer. You have to find somebody that's going to bag you an average of a goal a fucking game. And there's just aren't that many strikers out there. Without that tip to the spear, without that natural finisher, you're going to find problems.
Yeah.
But now, man for man, again, City are just better than Newcastle. So the dam broke, and that's how it went. And it's
And-
going to happen to a lot of other teams.
And in fairness, this could have been 4-0 if it wasn't for Darlow making a couple of brilliant fucking saves. So
enough.
Leeds get the win on Burnley. They score an early penalty, although I would say there was no opportunity to do VAR because the ref on the pitch gave him the fucking get out of jail free card when a goalie jumps into another player. The ref blows the whistle for a foul as the ball goes in the back of the net, so VAR can't look at the play. Quote, can't look at the play. Look at the fucking play. Like,
I don't understand what you mean.
So the ball comes up. Pope comes out. No, I'm sorry, not Pope. Meslier comes out, bumps into Ben Mee, and he actually fouls me. It's if you're going to be very technical, it was yes, Meslier was going for the ball and he got contact on the ball, but Meslier kneed Mee in the back. Mee fell to the ground. Meslier did not hold on to the ball. The ref blew the whistle because he's apparently, I guess, Mee was obstructing him, but he really wasn't. He was going for the ball. The ball fell to the ground, and then a Burnley player kicks it in the back of the net.
Right.
You can't go to VAR because the ref blew the whistle before the shot went in the net. Well,
Okay.
shouldn't
I see what you're saying.
VAR just be looking at, like,
Because the ball ended up in the back of the net, absolutely.
who gives a fuck if the ref blew the whistle? Look at the play and go, I mean, I hate to throw it to the NFL, but you go, by the way, we looked at the play. There was no foul on the field. The touchdown counts. Like,
Right.
how hard is it to do that? Like,
Well, they
there's-
did that. I mean, think back to the Manchester United Arsenal game. I think it might have been the FA Cup, but it might have been in the Premier League last season when Aubameyang was flagged off sides but finished the play out.
right.
Well, VAR went back and said, actually, there was no offsides, even though your entire team stopped. That was your own dumbass fault.
Right. But
And they let the goal stand. So VAR should be looking at it as one complete move. And
but the difference
because the
is-
ball ended up in the back of the net, they should have looked at it.
Well-
I believe that's the case.
Well, here's the problem. In the situation you're talking about, the ref didn't blow the whistle. The
Well, that's
linesman put up the flag. It's this whistle, like, again,
That's fair.
you
I'll give
gotta-
you that. That's absolutely fair.
You got to figure it out. Now, I did like Dyche at the end of the game walks by and just points at his watch and goes, "What time?" to the ref. The ref didn't respond to him. When interviewed, he said, "I just want to know what time I need to come in to talk to you because I want an explanation." And then he goes, "I'm
That's
not allowed
funny.
to say anything more because the FA will find me and they'll pretend like this never happened."
That's funny.
It's like, yeah, that pretty much covers it.
The other thing, though, I do want to mention that Burnley got Burnleyed.
Yes, Burnley did get Burnleyed, in fact.
High flying Leeds struck early on it ended up being the penalty,
Yeah.
but they strike early and then sat back and shut that fucking game down.
Got it. Finally, Everton beating Sheffield. I don't want to give too much into this match because, I mean, I know I'm an Everton supporter, but I don't want to go over top with it. Carlo finds a way to get 3 points again. The Toffees win for the first time without Richarlison. Since Richarlison has joined the team, if he has not been on the pitch, they have not won. If he has not been, on the bench or anything. So this was the first time they won. Here's what I throw at you. Everton are wounded. They were missing 5 starters. Custom made for Sheffield in a windy, pissing down rain day. This is the day for them to throw it all at a team and get their first win. And they didn't.
That's exactly my point to this. That's 100% what I took away from it. Sheffield put in a better performance than they have recently in the last couple of games, this one included. They ended the game with 5 strikers on the field. Couldn't find the back of the net. They are still coming up short. Yeah, they are still coming up short despite playing better. And you have to wonder if Chris Wilder is the next one up.
I wonder, could this team break the vaunted Derby County record of only 11 points? I really think that might be the fucking case. Derby
entirely
County,
possible.
They got 2 points so far. Please tell me when they're going to win, because that's a game they should have won. I mean, I as an Everton supporter, happy as shit. Trust me, all I did the entire match was go like this. I did that probably 30 fucking times.
I could hear him from the back room sighing
just going
loudly.
Well, what I hope is that at some point you will fucking give Gylfi Sigurdsson his due and winning you 2 of the last 3 games after talking so much shit about him.
No. No. It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. Now, this week, Sam, it is officially back to reality. We all missed the chicken hit. That is the real world. It's not all of you miss and I hit. No, the real world is when we all miss and the chickie gets her fucking bet right. That is the real reality of this betting segment, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
All right. So you are now down 569. Don't even do the 69 thing, you fucking douchebag.
69.
Southampton didn't get you the win, man. That you were so close, yet so far away. All right. Keep digging the ditch, killer. What big one you got for me this week?
Oh, it's huge, but I cannot turn down the odds here. I have Leicester to beat Palace, which I think is fairly straightforward. Arsenal to beat Brighton, riding the wave of the Chelsea win, and Burnley and Sheffield to draw.
Ooh.
That got me a gargantuan parlay odds of plus 1,409 on a $100 bet.
You know what, Sam? And mine almost rivals yours, by the way, on odds.
Good. So that's, again, Leicester to win over Palace, Arsenal to beat Brighton, and Burnley, Sheffield to tie for my bet. Plus 1,409. Boom. Shaka-laca.
Excellent. Well, you know what?
Actually, in the Arsenal game, I forgot to mention this. Yes. It was boom Xhaka-laca-saka with the 3 goals.
All right. So let's go ahead and do it. Time for...
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend, Pat's Pick of the Week.
Patty, how you doing, brother?
How's it going? Not too bad. How's it going there?
I mean, about as well as I can for all 3 of us Washington football team supporters to see us completely fuck off the opportunity to go to the playoffs. But next week, just got to win. Just got to win. That's all we got to do, right?
Yeah. Would have been nice to have a bye week, or at least rest the players. But hey,
if we had just beat the Giants once,
if only the 2 times we went for it, one of them would have fucking gone through. We'd be okay.
Yeah, seriously.
So, Pat, just want to let you know It was a very sound bet that you made your parlay, but both of us are very happy that your parlay failed, specifically because it meant Liverpool fucked off.
Oh, yeah. I figured that.
So tell us what you got for us this week.
All right, well, I'm back down to minus 611. So for the midweek games, I'm just placing a small 2-game crazy parlay. Everton to win straight at plus 490 and Wolves to win straight at plus 460, which will pay on a 20. I'm just taking a $25 bet on this. And
Smart
it
play.
pays out at, it just pays out at 800. So,
I actually like that. You know what? You do a little small bet that has huge fucking odds. So if it doesn't hit, it costs you $25 fucking dollars. Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
But God forbid it hits. Suddenly debt's cleared. You're back in the black and the world's a better place.
Oh, I know.
So when he does it, he gets praised for it. When I do it, I'm a cunt.
Well, because you keep betting $100. He's smart enough to go, I'm going to take this as a $25 bet. Instead of losing 100, I'm going to lose 25 on a bet that I'm sure I'm probably going to lose 25 on.
Yeah, but see, I would have looked at that and said, what, 800 times 4? So I would have looked at that and been like, 2,400? Great odds. $100. Done.
Fabulous.
See, but I put 25
no, that'd be
on it
3,200, wouldn't it? 8 times 4 is 32. Yeah.
I'd rather regret not putting another 75 on it than for it to lose the full 100. Because when you go put 100 on it, it always is going to lose. If you put $25 on it, you're just going to regret not putting the full 100 on it when it hits. So,
right, you'd rather be mad at yourself for not making 2,400 when you made 800 than losing 25 instead of losing 100. Right?
Hey, well, I can tell the difference between me and Pat is only one of us has no regrets tattooed on their dick. And that's me.
Love it. All right. So, Pat, we're going to do this again on Wednesday night. So be ready to have something for us for the weekend, okay?
All right. Sounds good, man. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, get yourself some rest. You got a lot of fucking absolute to fucking deliver.
Yeah,
I know.
easy,
Tomorrow's going to be... Yep, tomorrow's going to be hell, but, one more week.
Heard. Don't worry. There's plenty of salesmen like Sam out there to fuck you over. You'll be perfectly fine.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Hold on. What is this 100 cases in my liquor store? I didn't order this. Turn around and send it back.
It's not his salesman. It's his business managers that fuck that over.
Heard. Excellent. All right. Thanks, Patty. We'll talk soon, man.
Take it easy.
100 cases, $2.99.
Yep. I mean, that pretty much covers it. So, hey, look, I thought I had it in the bag. Initially, they gave Vardy the goal, and then they changed it to an own goal. But the ball was going at the net. Yes, it did get deflected, but it was going at the net. And normally, the rule is if it's going at goal, the initial shot's going at goal, it should have counted. So I got fucked on that. And so as I feed the cup of losers here, it says a fucking own goal. At least Graham sucks too. So allow me to feed the cup of losers.
Cheers, buddy.
And so all that happens, but I'm still up $245. And when you use my tried and true system,
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Sam Graham, but 37.5% of the time, it works. 100% of the time. Oh, yeah. All righty. So this week, for the midweek, I am going to take a bit of a risky bet, but it has Graham-like odds, so I just couldn't walk away. Arsenal to beat Brighton, which should make you happy. But with Neil Lespay to score in the loss, makes it plus $1,200, baby.
Ooh, wow.
So you win 2-1 with a Neil Lespay goal. And
Well, he scored one of Brighton's goals this past weekend. Was his first goal in, 8 games?
Yep. And that's why I took them odds, because I'm like, hold on. Arsenal coming to Brighton. Trust me, the Neil Lespay is not the scary part of this bet. It's the Arsenal winning at Brighton. That's the scary part of this bet, you killer.
Exactly.
All right. So that was a good segment. Actually, with Pat, that was great. You were pretty clean on your bet. I was clean on my bet. We're rolling along. The show's going well. So let's go ahead and check in on Kitty the chicken.
All right. So Kitty ends her losing streak with the Leeds victory and is now 6-9. So this week I gave Kitty Spurs facing Fulham. So Kitty pulled out a WWE match from SummerSlam 2008. I think she found it on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is the one where Batista faced off with John Cena. You remember that one?
That is where I believe Batista powerbombed Cena twice. One of them was off the top rope. As Cena jumped at him, he grabbed him in the air and powerbombed him.
Yeah, I believe that's
How did he
the
do
one.
that? Because normally you can't see Cena.
I know, you can't see him.
Y'all got jokes. Well, here's a fun fact. I don't know if you saw, but you know how they have the Spanish commentators table and the regular commentators table?
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the other side of the Spanish table, it was Kitty doing commentary for the WWE's foul coverage.
Book my God!
I can't believe this.
Foul coverage.
This is terrible.
That's right.
Brock my
Foul.
God!
Foul coverage. Which is surprising because
Just look at him in the Zoom. He's so fucking proud of himself.
Do you know who Kitty's favorite wrestler is?
Who?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, no shit!
Now, the boys have had their differences, but both Batista and John Cena are avid Spurs supporters. And Kitty, being a chicken, is picking Tottenham to win. All right, I know there's going to be a lot of drinking after this segment, but I just want to remind everybody, when you do drink, please do so. I'm sorry, gamble. I'm gambling responsibly. Remember to gamble legally and responsibly. I need a drink.
Before he talks about the
Just grab
the
a
fantasy,
beer.
I just want to say, I think we broke him. I think we broke him this time.
I couldn't believe it.
Brock Lesnar?
That is next level writing from you. That is absolutely something straight out of Idiocracy, the movie. I can't believe that. What a bunch of brunts. Brunts. What
Broke my God!
absolutely fucking terrible.
Just doing Stone Cold with brocking. Right now.
Fucking hell.
Right now, ropes of jizz everywhere from Smokey. Smokey's a huge wrestling fan. He's fucking marking out right now.
I couldn't believe it.
Good
He caught all
Lord.
3 oak trees outside that house.
This is what happens when we record on an off night.
All right, so
Yeah,
go
right.
ahead.
Everything just feels weird, doesn't it?
Talk about Fantasy Killer.
All right, I will. Another weird thing happened today. Ray beat me in fantasy 47-41 because Allison let in that stupid ass header in the 82nd minute, and the VAR didn't help. Keith beat Keith beat Russ 40-29. Elliott lost to JB big time 50-22. Allen took out Smokey 33-28.
Finally a win for Allen.
Kenny got doubled up by Lindsay 52-24. Kenny got whooped. Taylor edging out Geckel 38-37. Chris and Houston playing out to the most exciting match of the weekend. Houston winning that 23-19. And then Alberto losing to Rob 34-28.
This is where Geckel loses his mind because, again, he scores a fuck ton of points and then he sees our 24-19. And just goes, I'd have beat both of them. But
so that leaves
there's a winner.
Smokey and Allen tied for the lead. Allen ahead on points at 11-0-4. Ray up to third at 10-2-1. Elliott at 10-0-5 down to fourth. JB in fifth. Lindsay in sixth. Big Sam in seventh. Rob in eighth. Alberto in ninth. Your boy solidly mid-table in 10th at 7-0-8. Keith in 11th. Taylor in 12th. Kenny in 13th. Chris in 14th. Geckel in 15th at 4-0-11, but with more points than the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 teams in front of him. And then Russ quarantined again, being quarantined down to the last place in the league at 3-0-12.
Golf fits you well, Russ. Golf fits you well.
It does, actually.
All right,
To be completely honest.
that's going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
No, not really. Just hope everybody had a lovely Christmas and is preparing to have a happy New Year.
Excellent. Very good.
That's it. But we'll talk to you again on Wednesday for those sentiments. So,
Yep, exactly. We're going to
all
turn around and do this all again Wednesday night. So Patreon listeners, your injury time, we're going to record that tonight. That'll be up on Monday morning, both this show and Patreon on Monday morning. And then we'll turn around on Wednesday when the games end. Wednesday night, we're doing a show. You'll get it all again. And when we get to, we're almost approaching the FA Cup. So again, FA Cup will be a free Thursday show for everyone. And we'll preview the FA Cup and there's 3 non-league sides that are in it. So there's so much.
Very exciting stuff there.
Especially.
And if you wanted to find that Patreon content, all you have to do is log on to www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow and sign up to one of the top 2 tiers, $5 and $9, because 10's too much. And you will be able to get all of that extra content. So just hit that up and, give yourself a Christmas gift, for Christ's sake.
Well, that's good. On the way out, I don't have to ask you to fucking plug it again. And you're not too hoary like you were last week. God.
I put the rouge on because the boys like that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Lewis Black.
And literally, we have a $5 tier. So I went down to the docks and blew them at $5 a pop.
Heard. Excellent. So
Lewis Black,
that'll about wrap
funniest
it up.
bit he ever did.
It really was. and then I stood in front of them. I pulled the stick out of their ass. I smelled it, and why, in fact, it did not stink. All right, so next up's injury time. We're going to preview the entire week, midweek's action, and Sam's already told you how to find it, and we'll chat to you guys again on Wednesday. Till then,
good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!